Hey boys and girls, it's Mr. Giomini. Yesterday we worked with multiplying fractions and we kind of just really did the basic computation part. And today I want to kind of do a little visual representation of why, for instance, if we take a look at an example up here of why 3/7 times 1/5 is equal to 3/35. I think we all remember the algorithm that we talked about yesterday, at least I'm hoping we remember, which was A over B times C over D, and how that equaled A times C over B times D, where we just multiplied numerator times numerator and then multiplied denominator times denominator. Now, to look at this visually, we could see that 1 times 3 is 3 in the numerators, 7 times 5 is 35 in the denominator. Now, what I want to look at first, I want to look at that first fraction, which is 3/7. Okay, I know that I have 3 parts of the whole, which is 7, because the denominator is 7. Now, if I were to make this on my chart here, so I'm going to make a horizontal line. Now I have 7 parts, so I need to make now 7 columns. I'll start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Now before I make my bottom line, I'm going to look at my second fraction, which is 1/5. Okay, 1/5. Now I see that I have one part. I have one part out of 5 wholes. Okay. Now my 3/7 was my horizontal line. My 1/5 is going to be my vertical line because I want to find that area where they overlap. So because I have 5 total parts, obviously my line must be 5 blocks long. So I go here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, let's complete this square. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I go over here. Let me finish this bottom one here. And remember, the horizontal was 7 parts because I had 3 out of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, I'm going to go back to my product here, 3/35. Now, 3/7 times 1/5 equals 3/35. Using that algorithm, A times C over B times D, I should have 35 boxes or squares inside of this larger blue rectangle. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going across. 7 times 5 is 35. There are 35 squares inside of this blue rectangle. Now, how do I go about shading so I can show the overlap? So I have 3/7, 3 out of the 7 columns. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to shade. There is 1 out of 7. I apologize for my coloring. Coloring on the slate here is not the easiest. There's 1/7. There is 2/7. And finally here is 3/7. So I have 3 out of the 7 columns. Right, that's where we get 3/7 from. Let me try to color it a little more fully for you. Okay, now that's a check with my 3/7. I have that completed. Now let's take a look at my next fraction, which is 1/5. Remember we did that our vertical going down. So now we're looking at rows. Well, I have 5 rows. Of those 5 rows, I only have 1. Now let's see, does it matter which one of these rows I have? I just have 1 out of the 5. So does it really matter which one of these rows I shade in? Correct, it does not matter as long as I have one of those rows. So I'm just going to choose the bottom one. I like the uniformity, so I'm going to shade in this one row here. Sorry, I went outside the lines. Alright, shade this all the way across this 1/5. Okay, now if I take a look where the overlap is, and I'm going to draw some different colored bars here to show where the overlap lies. Let's use green. Here's where the overlap is. Right there. Let me bring that to the front. If it lets me click on it. Okay. Right there is where my overlap is. So, how many squares overlap? 3. How many squares are there total in this whole blue rectangle? 35. That's where I get my 3/35. Hope that helps you with the visual representation of multiplying fractions. And remember the little algorithm we talked. A over B times C over D is equal to A times C over B times D. Have a great day. We will talk to you later today. Bye-bye.